Hello, my name's Sarah Martin and I'm the quitting coach. And just joining you here to just talk about our crazy monkey mind today and this journey that I've been on probably for 8 or 10 years now, as far as discovering yoga and quieting my mind and calming my nervous system very slowly helped me drop a lot of self-sabotaging habits and thought patterns and behavior, allowing me to really step into being my more truest, authentic self, and most recently being able to quit my corporate job and just having the best time coaching others, teaching yoga, and helping others really find this authenticity and wisdom that can be in our bodies, right? That when we get quiet, we can find this wisdom, right? So I shared last week about, being a deeply reflective person, and that, this quote of an unexamined life is not worth living, right? Which was from Socrates, which I think I credited Thoreau last week. But, you know, I understand this quote, and I think that it is important as far as not just staying on the hamster wheel of, all the busyness and all the doing, and being able to reflect and look back can help us make different changes. And, where are we thriving? Where are we feeling like our best selves? And where do we need to make some changes? And this can also be used against us, though, right? If we are deep thinkers and our mind is just constantly going, it can really just take us out of the present moment and cause high blood pressure and heart issues and ulcers and all sorts of things, and certainly make us reach for those habits, right? The alcohol, the cigarettes, the overeating. I know that my overthinking certainly led to my overdrinking. And so that's what I want to focus on today is, our thought patterns and how do we calm this monkey mind of ours. And, even better than that, how do I change some of these thoughts that are not serving me, right? So I'll take us through a practice, and then I thought I would share my pool explosion that happened shortly after I recorded last week's video. So I'll take you through that as a way that I was able to manage some of my thoughts and overwhelm when that happened. But first, and always, I always start with a exercise. So we're going to kind of tap into this third eye area here between your eyebrows. So we have chakras in our body, right? 7 key energy centers, and then other ones that are off spurts from that. But the third eye being one of these energy centers that is responsible for our intuition and clarity, right? So we'll have an experience here of just closing your eyes. And again, sometimes it's nice to just kind of touch in between the eyebrows. And of course, if you're walking or driving, you can tune into this later. And just sensing your breath coming in and out of that area, breathing in and out. And again, so you're kind of looking up towards that third eye center. And sometimes we can view our forehead almost like the movie screen of our imaginations, right? When we're visualizing, this is where this happens, right? When we kind of have some visions. Not everyone can see images, and that's okay. So what we want to use this for right now is kind of calming that monkey mind, right? So softening the belly, softening the shoulders. And on the next inhale, almost as if you're putting a blanket over the brain, just almost tucking it in. Exhaling out any worry, any overthinking. Inhaling in, calm, peace. Again, almost like you're tucking it in, calming it down. Exhaling out. Inhaling in, peace and calm. exhaling out the overthinking. Inhaling in and exhaling out. Maybe you've been a little cloudy and you want to inhale in clarity of thought. Exhaling out brain fog. And just continue with that brain pattern, or breath pattern, sorry. And again, just giving permission to the brain, right? The brain's just up there trying to keep you safe. Having some appreciation for it, but also almost like a they're there now. It's okay. You don't have to try to control everything. It's okay. And opening your eyes whenever you're ready, but just knowing that kind of, I love that blanket and that tucking in, kind of like a toddler, right? That needs to go to bed, just tucking it in. Like, again, they're there now. It's okay, right? So another great practice for a monkey mind, a mind that's ruminating. Maybe something happened in the past that you can't stop thinking of, or something in the future. You're just a natural worrier. It can be mantra, right? So we may do a Sanskrit practice at some time, but you can just use, all is well, all is well, all is well, all is well. I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. Or everything's always working out for me. That's what I love, right? My coach actually helps me with there's no problem here, right? Because our mind is set to look for problems and danger. And this is where the retraining comes in, to be able to tell it, no, all is well. It's okay. There's no problem here, right? So sometimes whatever that monkey mind, the solution you're looking for, it's not even a problem. Right? It's not even a problem. And I want to use my pool exploding as an example of how I was able to help calm my mind. And, of course I have little wisdom keepers like my teenage daughter and some neighbors that were supportive. And yeah, so also looking for those messengers as well. But yeah, last Sunday, shortly after recording last week's video about lightening up, right, and not taking things so seriously, I'm reading a book. I had just showered. I had a tank top on. I did not have a bra on. And I hear pop. And there's water gushing through the whole yard. And my pool had just exploded after I had just put a new liner on it a week prior. Just got a new pump. So I had already sunk some money into it. I'm just in shock, right? I'm trying, panicking. My son came down, can I unplug the filter without getting electrocuted? And I can see the neighbors starting to gather. So I'm my mind mostly went to the fact that the guy across the street was going to want to come and see what's happening, and I have no bra on. So that was really distracting me. So you really get to see what people are made of too, right? So my neighbor, my little spiritual neighbor, is just hugging me and giving me some wisdom, because it happened to them too. So they were able to let me know homeowners insurance is not going to touch this. And then of course the guy across the street's any Italian dudes, telling me I'm going to have to threaten the pool people, who I have not been having the best experience with. But I just, whatever, got through. The neighbors looking at it. Then another backyard neighbor's come sit with me by the fire. And she just let me process a little bit and distracted me. And it was, it was fine. Again, I just have to hand it over, right? I've been through much worse. And I'm trying to go to bed that night, and my monkey mind was going though. Do I replace the pool? Should I just get rid of everything? All of the things. And my 17-year-old comes in and she says, well, Mom, you don't have to decide right now, right? There's no decision to actually be made, right? Which I thought was beautiful. So if you're in a situation, right, where your mind wants to just, should I leave this job? Should I be in this relationship? If it's just constantly looking for a solution, take a break. Take a break, right? Maybe that decision does not need to be made right at this moment. So That was so helpful. And then, I did need to reach out the next day for the pool people. And I talked to somebody who was like, no, just send them the pictures and let them do the right thing. Right. So instead of going in there threatening and angry, right, which would have maybe just put their defenses up, I went in with allowing, right? Allowing this to work out. So sent the photos and, to the wife and said, send them to your husband, have him call me. It's fine if it's not today. I understand he's probably out, fixing a pool. And, by 7 o'clock that night, I talked to her and they're going to come. They already actually were here today, took away the old pool, the liners for free. They're installing a new pool, no labor charge. So I'm basically getting another pool for like half the price that I would have spent. So, there was a lot of allowing here, right? Of, and I was frustrated and I was upset because the pool is all rusted out. So they should never have put this liner on there. Like, I'm like, okay, if I saw that, I wouldn't have put a new liner on it, right? So I can hold on to that and be frustrated and pissed off, or I can just allow them to make it right, allow me to get another pool that's going to last a lot longer than had that held up. That was inevitable that was going to happen, and move on from there, right? Certainly, like I said, been through much worse. So when can we just let go, right? Because all of the carrying of the stress and how dare you and you F this up, right, just stresses me out. Doesn't change the situation that the pool popped in the backyard, right? It doesn't change what happened. So when we can choose our thoughts so that they can help us stay calmer, by all means, it's a great practice. It's a great practice. So I love that, everything's always working out for me. And like I said, just allowing, right? First world problem, like, this is fine. It's all going to be fine. And certainly after quitting my job and just starting a business and doing some consulting work, finances are a worry for me. And so I have all over the house is that I am always provided for in all ways, right? I am provided for in all ways and always. Whatever chant helps calm your nervous system to reprogram your brain, because my brain just wants to look at, do you have enough money? Do you have enough money? It's like, yes, I always have enough money. I've always had enough money. Like, my history has proven that I come through, right? Money comes through. So these are things where, we can start choosing different thoughts for ourselves, right? So what's really great about meditation is that it quiets you down enough to kind of observe your thoughts, right? So that's where the meditation comes in, and like, you now become the observer as opposed to I am my thoughts, and that, they're all true, right? I used to believe all the thoughts that were coming through, they were my truth. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm telling myself some awful truths here, right? And that's where the meditation, you become the observer. And what's even more powerful is when you can choose different thoughts, right? When they're not serving you. So for me, certainly a lot of self-judgment, the replaying things in my head of, oh God, why did I say that? But with the practice, especially, the dropping, like, you're making a bigger deal out of this than it is, right? It was nothing. Like, nobody's giving anything a second thought. People probably didn't even notice the things that you are worrying and ruminating about. And, other thoughts for me, I've been wanting to sleep a lot. I don't know what that's all about. I think that, but I was sleep shaming myself, right? I was like, and worrying, right? That if I'm not getting up at 6 a.m, right? Because all the things tell you have to get up at 6 a.m. You get up, you exercise, you meditate, you do all these things if you're going to be successful, right? So my brain was telling me, loser, you're never going to make it. This is bad. The sleeping's bad. What if you're depressed? Which I do struggle with depression. So what if I do need to rest a little bit more? So I do watch these things. But what I started telling myself too is that, like, you need a little more rest, right? Like, for the last 2 years, I was working 7, 8, 9, sometimes 11 days in a row, on call for a COVID hotline, keeping the kids, trying to keep their mental health up, keeping a house going, yeah, you're tired. Yeah, it's taking, like, it might take this whole year to recover. And what if you just give that to yourself, right? What if you just give that to yourself? There's no problem here. So you slept in a little bit today. It's okay. You are in recovery. You are in recovery. And what matters most is what you do with the day when you're up, right? And you might need to rest during the day, right? So softening around these things that we beat ourselves up for. So helpful when I was on my journey of losing weight and the overeating, and I had a lot of binge eating habits, and the softening around it of like being with it, being present, right? Because I was in this vicious cycle of dieting and binge eating, right? I would starve myself for the beginning of the week, right? By Wednesday, Thursday, I'm like binge eating. And then, Monday's always the day I'm going to start again. And thank God I discovered and that no food should be off the table for me. And when I was in that behavior, to stay in it, to stay with myself, right? And then so I wouldn't binge as much, because I realized, okay, don't feel good, right? Because the binge eating is like, you're not in your body. You're just like, make me feel better. And then you feel like crap, right? So when I felt like crap, instead of beating myself up, I would just notice like, oh man, yeah, you were really trying to comfort yourself today. And that this isn't working. This isn't working for you, right? So what can I do to choose better, right? What can I do to choose better? And the more I did this, the more I would be conscious when I was going to lean into the binge eating, right? Same with the drinking. So just being kind to ourselves when we do stray, right? When we do like over imbibe, like, oh God, oops, like not berating ourselves, not bringing in the shame and the guilt, right? Because that's what keeps the cycles in play, right? So just being and talking to yourself like you would a good friend, right? Choosing the thoughts that you would say, oh babe, like, I know you had a really hard day, and you had 3 too many glasses of wine, and now you're paying for it. And let's remember what this feels like. And maybe I can choose a long walk next time. Maybe I can make a different choice next time. I really want to lean into that, So really choosing different thoughts for ourselves, certainly about our bodies, of like, instead of focusing on the part that you don't like on your body, focusing on a part that you do like, right? Instead of going to bed and focused on what didn't get done today, what did I get done today? What were some highlights of my day? And maybe it's not about the doing. Maybe it's about that connection with your kid when she came home and was laughing about your pool blowing up, and gave you some wisdom of, Mom, you don't have to decide that, right? Like that beautiful moment of connecting with my daughter came out of my pool exploding, right? And maybe those are the really important things, the connection with other people, the connection with yourself, the moment you had in nature, really the time in bed, sleeping in when you felt cozy and safe, right? Like, what if those are the beautiful moments that I want to cherish and that I want to keep creating more of? Right? So I offer that to you, tucking the brain in, calming yourself down. And again, just there's no problem here. There's no problem here. And what is a higher vibrational thought that can serve me, right? What do I want to choose instead? So I hope that serves you. If you're interested in really working on a one-on-one basis, I offer a 12-week program to really retrain the mind, to invite in what it is you're looking to invite into your life, to stop self-sabotaging behaviors, and certainly start treating yourself as the best friend that you are to yourself. So you could find me at sarahmartincoach.com. That's Sarah, no H, Martin, Martin, coach.com. And certainly I hope you all have a great week. Sending big love. Thank you.